Hey, Clubhouse members, the Minivan Lee Clubhouse, the Minivan Lee Show. High five. Doing good? Me too. Good things are coming our way, aren't they? Well, today I'm going to have a little bit of fun. I'm going to walk down, I know, I try not to do that too much, but let's walk down memory lane a little bit. I saw this article and it just really resonated with me, and I think it'll resonate with you too. The title was The Things That 50s Parents Did, okay? And it's just so good because it really made me think. You know, we had this stranger danger in our world today, and it is justified. It is justified. So I looked it up and I found an article that said, stranger danger, the missing parent panic began with Ed and Pat's. It said plenty of kids had gone missing before, but this one really hit the news. And it panicked all the parents. So parents of 1980, that would be me. Right. So I don't remember that name, but I do remember stranger danger. But you know what? I felt like my children were pretty safe. And I don't think I hovered over them very much, not with my kids. I really didn't. Well, here's one thing. Okay, I will admit, the reason that my kids could have fun is because a lot of the kids came to our house, to my house, when my husband was still alive. I mean, the kids all came to my house. And, you know, I had little parties off and on. I mean, I always had a birthday party for my kids. So the kids knew that they could come over to my house and they could play out. And I had a swing set, things like that. So maybe, yeah, it was a little bit different. I'm sure it was. But when my kids became young teenagers and I became a single parent. My husband was killed in a car accident. I became a single parent. Oh, my gosh. They really had a lot of free reign. They really did. Oh my gosh, yeah. They came out okay. They really did. So, but I did read another article that said really the first time the phrase came, stranger danger, was in the 1960s. So it was from before, but I think in 1980 it sort of blew up. Okay, so let's get started with number one. Things that parents did in the 1950s. I got my notes. Hope you don't mind, right? They prioritize each other, the parents. Oh, don't I know that? If you are a boomer, right? And you were a child during the 50s, the parents prioritized each other. They did not prioritize my family, my siblings and me. They didn't. They stuck together like glue, right? I mean, if one said one thing in my home, I couldn't go to the other parent and say, hey, can I do it? In fact, I wouldn't have even thought about doing that, because had I done that, oh my gosh, I would have been in big trouble. I've talked about my parents before. My dad was he really wasn't a disciplinarian. My mother was, and he sort of let her take the reins and do it all. Sometimes I would get mad at him for that because sometimes she was a little bit harsh. Not hitting us, but just, yeah, you got that look and it's like, oh boy, right? Okay. Yeah, she sometimes was harsh, not all the time. And I suppose your parents were probably the same way too. I don't know why I complain about that, but anyways, yeah, they stuck together. When one said one thing, they both were in agreement. It was you couldn't break that. You couldn't break the wall on that one, right? And the children were not the center of the family. Remember I said a couple videos ago where I saw this meme that said a parent should always change adapt their lives for their children. And I thought, huh? What? Where did this come from? And I disagreed with it, but I don't know. They probably got mad at me for doing that because it was on their page. And then I started seeing people were copy pasting it, and I saw it on my Facebook feed. I thought, no. That's not how I grew up. It said marriage was the central relationship in the 1950s. I'm sure, you might say, I'm sure I might get comments that say, well, that wasn't in my family, that was fantasy. Well, I think that what they're doing is the bell curve. The top of the bell curve is really where the most is going on. And I think that what they mean is that most 50s parents, not all, but most of them, right? You got those outliers going on where, I mean, it wasn't it wasn't rainbows and unicorns in the 50s. Oh my gosh, no. There were probably kidnappings going on. There was probably sexual abuse going on in some homes. There were probably, infidelity with parents. Yeah, not all parents in the 50s were perfect, okay? But I would say on the top of the bell curve, that is really what was going on here. And it said when parents talked to each other, the children had to wait. Was that the way in your home? Oh, with us, yeah. I mean, I suppose if it was really important, what I would do, we would stand there. And I remember they'd usually be out in the kitchen talking, drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes. My parents were smokers, yeah. And I became a smoker when I was younger, too. And that's when they smoked in the house. Yeah, they were so great at parents. They were killing us. Yeah, for me, they were, yeah. So they would be smoking cigarettes. And I don't remember them being so smelly back then. Maybe I just was so used to them. Maybe they weren't putting as many chemicals in them. I don't know. Okay. And it was in Ohio, so in the cold that we were shut up there with cigarette smoke. Yeah. Okay. But we would usually stand there, and I would just look around, but we would never interrupt. And I would stand there, and then finally they would look, and they'd say, what? They'd just go, what? What do you want? Yeah. Okay. So, and the children had to wait. Okay, well, so what do you think? Leave comments as you're watching this. I think this is kind of a fun memory lane kind of video, right? We're the Minivan League Clubhouse, right? You're in the club. Number 2 of things that parents did in the 1950s. They trusted their children. Okay, and looking back, I was thinking about that. I guess they did, because I remember in the summertime, after we ate breakfast and we did a couple chores, we took off, and sometimes we would not come back until lunch. So I guess they really did have to trust us. How about you? Did your parents trust you in the 50s? It says many children today are too insecure, right? And that's when I talked about the stranger danger. During the 80s, there was this movement and children became more locked in. It's because of their parents' hypervigilance. Well, they didn't want to lose their children. It was the media that was really pushing this. And it did say a lot of mass incarcerations into prisons happened during that time also. The 50s children, which is me and maybe you, are you a 50s child? We were more self-assured and responsible. Well, we were given that right. And parents trusted in their ability to make good decisions. Okay, I'm going to tell you just a little story. My daughter in Ohio, in Cincinnati, and they're not really in town. It's a part of the west part of Cincinnati. There's a lot of just family homes and a lot of woods nearby. You have like big yards and things like that. Okay. It's just more family orientated. Well, I have 2 grandchildren. She has small grandchildren. And they're not that small, but they were literally playing in the front yard. They were playing in the front yard. And a police came by and pulled in and asked who was watching those children. She was shocked. Well, my son-in-law, she sent him out to talk. And yeah. Can you believe that? They were playing in the front yard. Now, that's scary when you think about it. Wow. I guess kids can't play in the front yard alone anymore. Nobody was out there. Yeah. Okay, so, yeah, they trusted them to make proper decisions. We would go... Oh, my gosh. I had a childhood friend. She lived 3 doors down from me. And we would go play at the park. Well, once we both got bicycles, we would take off on bicycles all day long. We didn't go far. There was certain areas we didn't go. And what's funny is I remember our parents didn't put the boundaries on us. We put those boundaries on ourselves. We were uncomfortable going any further than that. We stayed within like probably a circle. That's where we stayed. So, yeah. We would put crepe paper and decorate our bikes like we were in a parade. And then on the handlebars, we'd stick crepe paper in there, colorful. And then we'd put the card with the clothes clip, yeah. Clothes clips. You know, I think, and it's not that I forget things because I'm older. I mean, obviously I have a really good memory. But I think what happens is, because I haven't said it in so long, and we just add so much information into us that every once in a while things like kind of get hidden. They don't leak out because they're in there. But it kind of like gets buried down and gets shoved down further and further because we really are in this information age, aren't we? Yeah. Okay, let's go to number 3, shall we? Let me get this here. Let me get rid of that. Number 3. You know, I've got more, so I think what I'm going to do is tomorrow, I'm going to finish this up because I think this is kind of fun to think about these things. Okay, parents in the 50s taught their children manners. We were forced to have manners. We really were. And parents in the 50s required politeness from their children. I know I did. If I wasn't polite, yeah, I couldn't be sassy either. I couldn't really be sassy. Like I couldn't just say, oh yeah, well this is the way it's gonna. I tried that once. We had a pool where I grew up. There was a town pool, really nice one too. And in the summer after dinner, the parents would take us. I think it was like a dime. It would cost a dime. And we would pack up a towel, and we had our swimsuit and underneath an outfit. And I remember I did get sassy once. We were eating. I think we were eating outside too. We like having a little picnic outside, which was just, we brought the food out to the back porch, right? And she said something about going. Well, maybe you won't go. And I go, oh, I'm going. I'm going swimming. Oh yeah. And she says, well, no, you're not. In fact, now you're going to bed early. I did. I was like, oh, dang it. I tried. Oh, I tried. Tried to see if I could get away with it, right? Their children, they said, the children, children would never say, I want something. They might say, could I please, yeah, they don't just say I want. They would always say please and thank you. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that all families did this, so don't correct me, but you can let me know if your family, were you required to say please and thank you all the time? How does this relate to my children? They still require politeness. Yes, my children still do. And I don't think they're as, well, my oldest daughter is not as vigilant, obviously, because she let her children play in the front yard by themselves. Oh my gosh. But I think my son who has children, yeah, I think he was he's hyper vigilant over her. Oh yeah, it was a girl, right. So, but I think they are polite. Yeah. Okay, number 4, they kept it simple, right? That's what I like, to keep things simple. I don't want to make things complicated in my life. I don't have time. I don't have time to make things complicated. The 50s parents didn't indulge their kids' whims. Yeah. Sort of like that one meme. Again, I say, parents should always rearrange their lives to benefit their children. Really? I don't think so. I don't think so. Right. The kids learned to be creative. We had to be creative and grateful for what we had. We did. We didn't have a lot, but we were grateful for what we had. Okay? And we took care of our things. Well, I did. Sure, we took care of them because we knew we didn't have a lot, but I did, keeping it simple. I thought of something I hadn't thought of in a very long time. When we were young, I was probably old enough. I was probably maybe 8 or 9. Yeah. Well, my grandpa liked to make things. Oh, he made wonderful things for us. My dad's dad, he made a table. I remember he made a rocking chair that would knock your socks off. It was in the family for years. And a stool, things. But he made us stilts. They were just so simple, you just couldn't imagine. They were just long poles. I remember they weren't even round. They were still square. He didn't like make round poles. And they had a little, a little thing on it. Let's see, I'm trying to find something. Yeah. Like a little step. You just like, here's the pole and a little step here. So you would put your feet on there. And it had probably an L bracket on it to hold it in place. And they were high off the ground. The stilt part, that you put your foot on, long stilt, but they were like here. So, and then you had this long pole going up. Okay, did you have? Let me know. Did you guys have stilts? Did somebody make your family stilts, your kids, when you were younger? Well, what we would do is lean the stilts against the garage. Then we would get on it. It must not have been too high up, but I was shorter. I was a kid, so, I was younger. And so I had to really climb up there. And then you have to lift away. You have to push away with your body, push it away from the garage and then walk. It was kind of scary. But I guess I did learn balance. I don't think I walked very far. And then to get off, you just kind of like hop forward or hop backwards. I forget. I think I would have hop forward and then land on the ground. Can you imagine doing that today? Oh my gosh, yeah. Woo! Okay, now we got number 5, and then tomorrow I'll do the rest. They made kids play outside. Well, hello. I've seen some people talk about, especially Generation X. Is it Generation X? Yeah. And then the millennials. But yeah, someone say, oh, well, we couldn't even go inside. We had to be outside. And then they said, well, we had to drink out of a hose, right? Because we weren't allowed inside. No, I don't know what your that family was like, but we were allowed inside. When we came home, we wanted to go inside and say, hey, Mom, and this is what we're doing. And get a drink of water, maybe grab something to eat and run back out the door. But yeah, we played outside. We didn't have to play outside. My mother never made us play outside. We just wanted to be out there with our friends, okay? And let's see, what else? And they didn't, parents of the 50s didn't plan their children's activities. We came up with our own. Oh my gosh, me and my best friend, we had We had really cool activities to do. It was just her and I. We would play business. Her mom would save old mail for us, so we could play. We're in a business, and we would open up the mail. We'd have a little desk, and we were a business. We had secretaries and stuff. And she had a bunch of marbles. We played marbles. They were different sizes. I remember I made people out of them. I had a good imagination. I could make people and have families and move the marbles around. Hello. Well, I've already told you I have the ability to do that, because I thought everybody did this, but let me know if you did, because when I mentioned this a couple years ago, people said, I did that too. Every number has a character. They're either male or female. No binary going on. Maybe they are. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they have pronouns. Yeah, I should give them pronouns. But every number has a gender and a character. It's a characteristic, a personality. And I think that's why I'm really good with math. Because I gave them those characters. I don't remember doing it. It just came naturally. So, yeah. And so I did that with the marbles, and we just always played. We were outside waiting to see the train go by, and there was one particular one, and we called him Casey the engineer. We named him that. We didn't know, and he would listen to this one. He would throw candy for us. I think he was waiting for us too. He would throw candy for us, and we would pick it up when the train was passed, and we would eat it. Oh my gosh. This is before the 1982 Tylenol scare, where you couldn't eat any candy from strangers, right? And what else did I have down there? We entertained ourselves. We just did. But I will tell you one other thing, and then I will let y'all go. My mom, excuse me, I think those eggs from previously, there's a little burping going on. I love the eggs, but every once in a while, they really stick with you too. I'm not hungry. I won't be hungry for a very long time. After I eat eggs, I'm pretty much guaranteed that I'm not going to eat for a while. It just, my stomach, I couldn't handle anything in there. Well, back to my mom, what she did in the summer. We, of course, had a good, let's see, right. Now I'm trying to find it. We had the 50s and 60s version of this. We had encyclopedias. We had Encyclopedia Britannica. And I think they were fairly new. I think there were actually some salesman came and she bought them from them, and then they got delivered. But we were to pick a subject, read about it, and then write a report. And then she would have us go in the living room, and my siblings would be there, and one by one we would go up in front of the class. I think this prepared me for like this, right? And we would read our report. So my mom did have some activities. And in our family, every summer, my dad had a really good job. Kind of blue collar, not kind of in between blue collar and white collar, if you know what I mean. Every year he was in the union, and every year they just kept getting more and more vacation time. So he took a good 3 of his weeks. That's when everybody had a lot of vacation time. Those were the days when he only one wage earner supported a family of 4 to 6. Wow. And the mom could stay home and cook, and she did. Well, we always went on vacation. We always drove somewhere. And then later on, gets to this, we would start going camping. We added camping onto it, so yeah. So we always went on vacation. It wasn't an idyllic family. We were I would say I grew up, it's middle class, but I would say kind of right in the middle or maybe a little lower. We were not wealthy by any means, but we had everything we needed. And my mom sewed all of our clothes. That was when it was, it didn't cost so much to sew. But no, we were not highfalutin at all, but we were well cared for. So yeah, the 50s parents, and I'm going to finish this up tomorrow. Part 2 will be tomorrow. I hope you really enjoyed this. I did. I hope it made you think, and I had fun doing it. So, okay, till tomorrow, everybody. I love you guys. You be here tomorrow. You got that? You got that? I love you. Bye. Oh, please subscribe. Please subscribe. Thank you. Bye.